Hey, so today we're going to learn how to make a textbook cover using basic shapes and text in Inkscape. So we're not doing anything fancy. We're not doing any Bezier tool stuff yet. So this is just using basic shapes, just like you did when you were in kindergarten and you had to figure out how to build a house using a square and a triangle. It's going to be just like that. So firstly, you want to open up Inkscape. I've got a shortcut on my desktop. If you don't have one, you can just type Inkscape down in your search bar and pull it up that way. Okay, so once your Inkscape is open, I like to hit the number 5. 5. And when you do, it fits your canvas to your window perfectly. And one of the things that is just so wonderful about this assignment is that your canvas is the shape of a book cover. So it lends itself really well to this beginner's exercise. So this is your select arrow. So select and transform. Anytime you want to grab something, if you want to resize it or rotate it, this is your guy or gal. And this is your nodes tool, and this is going to help you to get more specific when we are looking at the Bezier tool, but that's not right now. So let's just not focus on that one. I don't think I've ever used this tool. This is a zoom in and out tool, and that can definitely come in handy. And this is a measurement tool. I don't usually get that specific myself. Okay, here's the tool that you're going to use, the rectangle tool. For sure, this is a big one. And then this is how to create 3D boxes. If you want to do some 3D forms on your book cover, this is the box for you. And then we have creating circles and ellipses and arcs and Pac-Mans here. And this is polygons and stars and spirals. So you're going to be using essentially these shape tools here. And down below is the text tool, and you'll get to use the text tool as well. Now, when you're watching the, well, actually, I don't think this class has videos. When you're doing the lessons, you will probably learn more than what I'm showing you here. So you're always welcome to incorporate any other skills. And then I'll also often post supplementary videos with the project directions so that you can get in and learn some added skills that might not be covered. The first thing you're going to do is create a background, and layers is pretty important. If you don't have a layers window open, you just find it when you click on the layer menu item at the very bottom where it says layers. If you click there, this will pop open, and you can slide this down a little bit so you can see. And so I'm going to go ahead and double click, and I'm going to name this my background color and hit enter. You just click off of it without hitting enter, it won't save the name. All right, and so right now I'm also going to save because I can tell that my computer is freezing up a little bit. My computer freezes a lot when I use Inkscape. It uses a lot of RAM, which is your computer's workable memory. So I'm just going to click Save As right now and go right into my digital arts folder, and I will call this 11/6/17 Project 1 textbook cover. And you'll notice it says Save as File Type Inkscape SVG, and that is exactly how you want to save it. That is your work. You always want to have your work saved. Okay, so here's an eye. That means that this layer is visible. If I close it, that layer is invisible. And here's a lock. If I lock it, that means I can't make any changes to that layer. So if you ever go and grab your rectangle tool, for example, I have to click Save a lot, and I go to draw a rectangle, and nothing's happening? Huh. Oh, maybe it's because my layer is locked. It won't let me make any changes. Let's try it again now. Look, it's working. Made a rectangle. Okay, now the last time I used my program, I apparently made a rectangle that didn't have any outline and doesn't have any fill. So I need to change the fill color. There's a palette down here at the bottom, and the easiest way to change the fill color is to just click one. And you can actually scroll and see that there are about 500 million, hyperbole, 500 million different colors. I'm going to click on this one right here. Excellent. Now, I don't need an outline because it's a textbook cover, but if I wanted to have a border around it, here's how you would do it. When you just click on one of these, it fills your shape. You want to make an outline, you have to hold down the Shift button. I'm holding down Shift right now and clicking on the black box. And now you'll notice that I have a border. Now, if you do it and you can't see the border, I'm going to show you how to fix that. A really important feature that you need to know about is under the Object menu. It is the Fill and Stroke box. So click that. Excellent. Now, I have my fill and stroke kind of tucked away over here. All I have to do is click on it, and it'll open back up. My layers is here, but I don't know what's been going on with my view lately. It doesn't want to show me my layers and my fill and stroke at the same time, but oh well, I can deal with it. So this is another way to do your fill. Right now, it's showing that my shape, the one that's selected here, and I can just use my selection tool. Save. And it will select it, and I can make adjustments to the color here. But you'll notice that I got these arrows too, and look what happens. Ooh, fun. So I can go ahead and size it so that it is the same size as my canvas. All right, that looks good. And now I want to change the width of my border. Maybe you can't see your border. For me, I think the border's too big. So this is the fill. This selection right here says that it's got a solid fill. Okay. If you wanted to change to a gradient, you would click here. Okay, you can see that. And then here's a radial gradient. Okay. Okay, but I'm just going to have a solid fill. And then stroke is just basically another word for your outline or your border, okay? And it says I have a stroke that's solid here. And if I want to ever change the color, I can use, I love the color wheel. Sometimes it's automatically set to RGB. RGB looks like this, and you can use the sliders. There's this one and that one. But I like the wheel. You can spin the wheel around to your desired, hue, and then you can inside go for different shading of that. Okay, so, right now I'm on my stroke, so I'm only changing my outline. And if you want it black, then you've got to go over towards that black end. Now, the stroke style tab is where you find the width of your stroke or your outline or your border. So I'm going to go ahead and decrease that, and I might just make a 5 there and hit enter. That looks good to me. I like that. So I'm happy with that. You make your border however you want. Maybe you don't want a border. That's your choice. This is your textbook design. All right, I'm going to make another rectangle, but I'm going to go on to my layers. And when I clicked on that, it popped up my layers. So I want a new layer. I'm going to click the add, and I'm going to call this one border or text, or maybe I'll call it top border. Okay, and I'm going to add it, and it's above this layer. Notice if I click on the eye, I can't see the bottom layer. If I click on the lock, I can't change it, and that's always nice so I don't accidentally work in the wrong layer. So make sure that you're working in the right layer by having it selected. And I'm just going to grab my rectangle tool. Now, the thing that's interesting is that it's going to save these properties that I have for this rectangle. So when I go to draw another one, guess what it does? It draws exactly the same as the one before. So that's one thing to remember. Now, if I just want to fill that with black, like I do, I just click here. And now that border is black. Perfect. And I'm going to make another border down at the bottom. And it's going to just use the same settings for the last one I just did. And so I guess I got my top and my bottom border on the same line. And so I'll just rename that borders. That's good. Hit enter. And it saves those. If you want it to stop being selected, just click on your selection tool here, and then you can click off of the canvas somewhere. All right, and so now I need to use my text tool. So I'm just going to grab text. Remember to save if it isn't working for you. And you're just going to drag it where you want some text. Don't try to click inside. What'd you say? I said, don't click inside the text box. There's already a cursor there. If you click inside the text box, you'll ruin it. It won't work. Just start typing. Okay, I'm going to start typing now. This textbook is going to be about frogs. Just bear with me as sometimes when I make a video, the text tool doesn't work very well for me. So I'm just going to type this layer as text and add it there. I've locked my other layers and I'm actually going to hide them right now so that I can see what I'm doing really well. And I'm going to click on the text tool, press save if you're having issues like me, and I'm just going to drag, start typing, F-R-O-G-S. So then I'm going to click File, Save. Oh, I'm going to click outside of it, actually. Deselect it. I'll do File, Save. And now I'm just going to put my cursor right to the left and click and drag. And I can select it. And I can take it down and increase the size. I can center it. And now let's go ahead and turn on my background color. I know my border is black. I'm not going to be able to see it unless I change the color. So let's hide that again. Let's see if we can grab, click outside of it. I'm going to see if I can get my text tool and select frogs again. And I'm going to change it to white by clicking down here at the bottom. And you can see that I've got text there, but you can't see it. But now let's make my border visible and my background color visible. And now you can see it. Click outside of it. I'm going to grab my selection tool. Save. Okay, and I should be able to select my text. Now, I like to use my arrow keys. So on my keyboard, I'm arrowing down. If you hold shift and arrow, it makes bigger jumps, haha, like a frog. And yeah, so the text is probably the most stressful part. Just remember, make your text box, start typing, don't try to click inside of it. It's already got a cursor, and click outside of the text box. Then select it from left to right to make any changes to the color or size. All right, that's good. I'm going to create some more text now down here at the bottom because I'm just a glutton for punishment. And here we go. So grabbing my text tool. Okay, and this text is going to say frogs. Frogs. frogs marching up and down. Okay, and this one will be by Rachel G. And you don't have to put your last name. You can just put your first name and your last initial if you want to, or if you don't want to put your name at all, you can make up a name. By Dulcinea. How about that? Dulcinea croissant. There. And I think I'll center those. I'm going to have to click outside of it and then grab my text tool. I have to click save and then select it, center it. Doesn't want to work. There we go. Change the color to white. And now it looks good. Grab my selection tool, file, save, grab my selection tool, use shift and arrow down, and voila. Frogs, frogs, marching up and down. Anybody know that song? Oh yeah, it's a real hit. So then the hardest part of this assignment is just doing the artwork. You're going to be using some basic shapes. So let me show you some basic shapes. Let me get rid of these layers. Let me get rid of that and that for now. And I'm going to lock this so I don't accidentally make any changes to my work. And I'm going to create a new layer. And I'm going to call this artwork. And I will add it. Okay. So let's learn some basics. With the rectangle tool, remember it's saving my features. You can just do any rectangle, okay? But you make a square with the same tool. So remember the word control. What does it mean? It means to control something, to put some control over it. So if you want to make a square, hold down the control button and notice that I get a perfect square. Yeah, it will also control parameters, ding, 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 incrementally, but you can see when it's a square and when it's not, right? There's a square. So maybe you want to make a square. That's how you do that. Of course, you can change. How do you change the fill? You change that with just clicking down at the bottom. And how do you change your stroke? You can do that by holding Shift. And the X here means that there's no stroke. So click X if you want it to go away. Or if you want there to be maybe a dark green, hold down Shift and hit the dark green. Okay, and now every time I draw something, it's going to have those same color values. So let's go ahead and look at the selection tool. So I'm going to grab that and notice I can transform it. If I click on it again, 1, 2, there we go. Click on it the second time and you get the rotation handles. So then you can grab those, spin it around, have fun. Those will allow you to skew it. So you can make, what shape is that? Parallelogram. Yay. All right, what if you wanted to make a rhombus? How would you do that? Maybe these nodes, let's see. Click on the nodes and then can I drag? That's not liking me. Well, that's not going to work. And I don't know if it's because I'm making a video or not. You could try it and see if it works for you. There's also some, if you click on the rectangle tool here, there's a little round circle here that will let you make rounded edges. What does that look like? That looks like mitochondria. That looks like a prokaryote. Whoa, biology in the house for those of you who like to do biology. I could even change it Whoa, that's pretty fun. Wah, wah. Oh, look at that. It's perfect oval now. I can do all kinds of groovy stuff. So have fun. Look, it's like a jelly bean or a Tylenol. So that's the rectangle tool. Cool. Now, as I'm playing along with these, I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to make a frog out of these shapes? All right, let's try another shape. I'm going to skip the 3D one. Let's go for the circle. Now, this one is just going to be ovals, right? If you want to make a perfect circle, what key do you need to hold down? Control. Hold control. Look at that. Perfect circle. Woohoo! Oh, that could be my bullfrog mouth. That would be fun. But here's the fun part. So you've got circle over here selected in your tool menu, and look at this little round node. I'm gonna click. They're called handles, I think. And I'm gonna click save. I grab a hold of that round handle and check it out. Waka 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 waka. You can make, oh, if I have my cursor pulled out away from it, it makes Pac-Man. Watch what happens when I pull my cursor to the center. Oh, it makes an arc. You learned about arcs, didn't you? Yeah, you talk about arcs in calculus class. Oh, wow, so cool. All right, so pull it out here. You got a Pac-Man. You can make a half circle. Check it out. Oh, this could be part of my bullfrog. Anyway, click off of that. Once again, you can grab your select tool, file save, get my select tool, grab a hold of it, check it. Wow, wow, wow. If I want to maintain the proportions of it, it's like perfect, but I want it bigger, just hold down control and notice it'll maintain the perfect proportions. This is too fun. I can also move it. I like to use my arrow keys to move things. I know that seems weird, but I kind of like it because sometimes when you have a whole bunch of stuff and you go to click and drag and move something, it moves something else. And I try to avoid that at all costs. So I use my arrow keys to move things around. Shift arrow makes it move in faster, bigger increments. All right, so that's your ellipse tool. And if you click on that again, yes, you do also. Yeah, okay, we already played with those. All right, we're good. Let's check out the star and polygon tool here. Here we are. Okay, so it made a star. Woohoo! Nice. Up here is where you want to look. This is what's happening, okay, with your tool. It's on star mode, and it has 5 corners. So I can increase the number of corners. Check it out. How fun is that? Ding. I can just type 5 back in there and bring it back. I can also change it to a polygon. So let's try that. Now it's polygon with 5 sides. What's that called, guys? It's called a pentagon. All right, let's try these out. If it's got 4 sides, what do you think it's going to be? It's a square. It's another way to make a square. If it's got 3 sides, what's it going to be? Triangle. All right, if it's got 2 sides, oh, then it wouldn't be a polygon, would it? It'd be a line. Okay, so let's see. Wouldn't even be a line. What would it be? Okay, so 5, and then what's after 6? That's pentagon, hexagon. There's a stop sign. So you can rotate that, right? How do you rotate that? Do you remember? Let's go back and grab our selection tool. All right, remember, click it another time, and you get the rotate handles. Wow, it worked for me. Okay, perfect. So then you can change colors. So let's say I want to fill it with red. Make a stop sign, just click on red. And what color is the outline? The outline's white. I have to hold down shift. Ooh, do you think I need an outline within an outline? I need something black around it. So here's an example of how layers can work for you. So I am just going to grab this. I'm going to click it one more time. Click on it, and I'm going to Sorry. File, save, click on it, and I'm going to use my shift and arrow keys and move my stop sign here. And I'm going to grab some other things if I can and move them out of the way. Okay, and I'm going to just create, I'm going to take this one that I have, and I'm going to Control copy, Control C for copy, and Control, let's see, let's create a new layer real quick. Let's call this back art, and I'm going to put it below the current.
Mom, when is it going to be crisp?
Okay, so I'm going to work on my back art layer, and I'm going to do Control V, and I'm pasting that same hexagon right behind it, and I'm going to change the color of it. So let me just hide the one that's on top. Just hide it. Only got the back art now. I want to make this black. Okay, so I'm going to click Shift here on the black to get the border black, and then I'm just going to go ahead and click black to fill it with black too. And now I'm going to go ahead and take my artwork layer, and I want to go ahead and move it so that it's right underneath. So let's see here. The arrow keys don't want to work right now. Hold on one sec. The right layer, gotta click on it. You probably aren't going to have the level of difficulty that I have because you're not making a recording and using Inkscape, which uses all your computer's RAM. So now it's behind it, right? Okay, and now I'm going to hold down Control, and I'll make it a little bit bigger. And now I can use my arrows to slide it over just right so that my stop sign has a little black border around it. I'm looking at this right now and going, you know what? Stop sign's an octagon, not a hexagon. So I got to click on both of them. I'm going to go File, Save, and I'm going to click on that back. Well, I'm on my front one. I'm on the artwork layer. I'm on the front one. And I'm going to, actually, I need to grab my tool, and I need to change that to 8. And then go to your back art layer, grab your tool, and change that to 8. There. And now I just can hold down one and hit Shift, and wait, I can grab them both at the same time. I got to get my select tool. That's my problem. File, save. Grab your selection tool, select one of them, and then hold down Shift and try to select the other one too. I got to show you a really easy way to select things. I'm going to just click off so nothing's selected. Let me grab this little thing here, and I'm going to move it up away, out of the way. And I'm moving. Okay, so you can just grab your select tool, File, Save, select, and draw around everything you want to have selected. So the problem is you have to make sure you get around everything. So I'm going to start over. First, I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. This out of the way. Get this out of the way. Okay, now I can select everything without having to worry about selecting something that's not supposed to be there. So I'm just going to grab like this, and it selects them both. Cool! Yay! Now I can go Object, Group, and now they are one object. When I grab them, I can move them both at the same time. I can click again. Well, theoretically, I can click it twice and grab rotation handles. Not going to work for me so well. So at this point, I've kind of fooled around with these, and I've showed you a little bit about how they work. I want to show you a little bit more with the star. Let's see here. Let's go with, I'm going to take my stop sign and I'm just going to delete it. so I can have a little more room to work down here. I'm going to make another star. Okay. There we go. Okay, so it's got 8 sides. Saved what I was doing with that polygon. And I want to just show you these little handles. This handle right here will make it so that you can stretch it out, or you can take it into the center. You can you can make a polygon with it too. Oh, you can make a special star. Woo, fun. And then this one right here will let you draw that in, and you can even twist it around, ooh, and get some really fun effects, some kaleidoscopic effects. Ooh, very cool. So you can play around with that. You can also try and see what happens if you hold down like the shift key. Ooh, look at that, makes beveled rounded edges. So holding down shift can actually have a different effect on things. Sometimes control will also impact things differently. So shift and control, just, you know, that could look like the blob. That's very cool. I like that. Nice. The blob. Okay. Oh, what did I just do? Look at that. I started another one in the background. Can just hit delete. The delete key on your keyboard and delete anything that's selected. Okay, so I want to just show you those fun star tricks. Let's see if there's something with Alt. Let's see here. Hold on, Alt. Oh yeah, Alt. Hello, Picasso. So when you hold down the Alt key and play around with the star, you get some funky things. Let's see what happens if I turn it into a polygon. File, save, turn into a polygon, same. Very interesting. Look, you can make rocks. That would make a perfect rock for my frog to sit on. So I'm going to go ahead and make that a color. I'm going to change it to brown by clicking down here at the bottom. And voila. And I should be able to click on it again. Ah, yay, it worked. And rotate it so I can decide what angle. I think I like it at that angle. But of course, I can click it again. And I can scrunch it down a little bit if I'm not liking the shape so much. Perfect. If you want to draw some, this is where you could grab your pencil tool if you wanted to. Grab hold of your pencil, and if you wanted to just like draw in some little lines. Here's what I recommend though. I'm going to hit delete. When you use that pencil tool, you want to change that smoothness to like 45. I'll just do 40. That'll work. Grab my pencil tool. I want it to color in black. So I'm going to go File, Save, and I'm going to hit black. Hopefully, that didn't work. Change it to black now. The stroke isn't very good. So go to my fill and stroke. Okay. This is a stroke and it's really small. So let's increase that. Oh, I don't want it that big. My other lines were 5. Do I want it as big as a 5? Nah, what's 4 look like? That'll work. So I can, whoops, I just drew another one. Hit Control Z. I'm going to select that. Okay. Maybe I'm going to select it. I'm going to click on my Layers tab. I might be able to select it, and maybe I can't. That's okay. I'm going to try to trick it. I'm going to click Save. There we go. I'm going to move this one out of the way. Yay. Save. Your stuff's going to select just fine. I'm just making a recording. That's the only reason mine doesn't work. Well, I think I know what happened. I think that line is like part of my drawing. I thought it would be separate. So this would be a good example of a good time to create another layer. So I could do my line work. I'll go ahead and hit Control Z. I'll hit Control Z and get rid of the line. Yay. I have to hit a few times. I did lots of stuff there. Oh, it might not go back enough. There, it's gone. Okay, now I'm going to grab this and move it over. I think I should probably shrink it down a little bit. I'm going to hold shift, or no, hold control so it keeps my settings, and grab it and move it. It will grab and move for you. Just just not for me. This is the reason probably why they don't have Inkscape videos in the lessons, is because it's really hard to get your computer to cooperate. So here's my rock. I'm going to use this. I'm going to have a frog sitting on the rock, and I think I'll just use some of the things I've already created. So let's grab a hold of this guy and hold shift. I'm going to make him just a little bit smaller. It's going to be my frog's head. Grab this one. I'm going to hold down control, make it a little smaller, and try to move it. Because I'm kind of thinking like this would make a really cute frog face. I just have to put some eyeballs on it. Okay, so I'm going to use the circle to make eyeballs. Okay, and hold down control so that it's nice and wide. Oh, how cute. It maintained my little shape that I had done earlier, and I love it. I think I'll just keep that, and then I can hit Control C for copy and Control V to paste another one, and then just grab the select tool and move it. Hold my shift key and just move it over there. It wants me to be able to do everything but move it. Yeah. And I can go up a little bit. There's my cute little froggy. Oh, it's so cute. Top of its head, probably not quite the right shape. Oh well. I'm gonna get rid of these. Gonna grab my selection tool and just, I like the little round. I might keep that round thing. I'm gonna see if I can grab that and copy it, paste it, and duplicate it, move it over. You could just pick up everything and grab it and move it around. I can't while I'm making a video. Everything's all slow-mo for me. All right, here's a frog leg. Cool. Here's another frog leg. File, save, grab it, move it around. There's my other frog leg. Oh no, it's behind. So I'm going to right click and let's see, click on it, file, save, click on that, and I can probably object lower. There we go. Now it's underneath. And this I'm going to move over. Yep. Can't believe it actually let me do two things without having to. Okay, I'm going to have to move my eyeballs over. You won't have to hit save as much as I do, but if you ever run into an issue, just click save. Okay, and then background for my frog. Well, not background necessarily, just body, right? Selecting that, hitting delete. Frog body. I think I'm just going to use the ellipse tool. I could use, oh, I know. I'm going to use Pentagon Tool. And I'll just give it a whole bunch of sides and draw it. Oh, that's funky. Oh, fun. Oh, whoops, I like the other one. How about that? Okay, I need to change a color. So I want it to be that same green. And I want it to have that same dark green. Oh, look at what I did. I forgot to hit shift. Whoops. Now to get the outline, I have to hit Shift. Great, and click it again to rotate it. Can't believe it actually let me do that step. Okay, and then click it again. Oop, won't let me. Okay, and hold Shift and size it down a little bit. Okay, that works for me, I guess, for now. And then slide it over. Oh, didn't get that lucky. Click on it, Shift, and I move it over. This is just going to be his little body back there. So I will go Object, lower to bottom. Hey, there's my frog. Oh. Okay, so let's put it all together. Let's get our text and our background, and bam, there's my textbook cover. Let me tell you, if I wasn't making a video, I would be rocking Inkscape, okay? But it really just is so hard. It doesn't really let me do anything. You saw how long it took me just to get that. It was a very arduous process. But hopefully, since you won't be dealing with the chaos that I am on my end, your design will look so much more refined than mine does. I would have loved to have put a pond there. So there's just a ton of different things you can do. When you're done, File, Save, okay? That is your .xcf. Oh, no, that's your .svg. That's your scalable vector graphic. This is digital arts, that's right. Let me show you how you can zoom in and you never lose any quality. It's perfectly crisp. That's what's so awesome. And I can zoom out. Usually hit the Shift key. Shift will zoom you back out. Hit 5. It'll bring you right back to center. Now you want to export it. File, Export Ping Image. Okay, and you're going to just make sure that it's saving to the right place. So where do I want this? I want this in my 2017-18 folders, and I called this my 11/6/17 Project 1 textbook cover. I would normally put it there in my textbook assignment. That's where I save your files, and then I click Save, and notice it's saving as a ping. It's not actually exporting though. Okay, I'm just telling it where it's going to be exported. I'm not actually exporting it yet. Hopefully you're still watching the video because you haven't actually exported it. Hit this, close when complete. Okay, and then click export. Ah, now it's exported. What does that look like? I'm gonna go in, look at go to my picture, oops, my pictures, go to my digital arts folder, go to my 2017-18, okay? And I need to go back in there and save this file, save as, to the same place. So I'm going into 2017-18, same name, but now it's the SVG. So when you save it, I'm not sure where I saved it before. Okay, so now you can see that I've got the ping file. You know it's a ping because pings are visible and viewable in an image format on your computer. And this one over here, it says HTML. If you open that, it's going to open it in a browser. I don't know why, but this one is your SVG file. And for some reason, my computer will only save it as this Chrome file because that's my default browser. So remember, if you are pausing and going to come back and work on it later, do not double click that and think that you're opening that up, okay? Because you're not. It's going to open it in a browser, okay? If you want to get it to open in Inkscape, look for another app. I'm going to just type here. I think I've done this before and it doesn't ever save it. So yeah, I don't see Inkscape. Let's open Inkscape file not found. Yeah, I'm not exactly clear on why that is. I can't get mine to open an Inkscape from here. So what I have to do is I have to go into Inkscape and I have to go File, Open, go into my 2017-18, and I have to open this file right here. I know I talked to you about this earlier. Do not open this file. This is not an Inkscape file. If you open this file, it's not going to have any layers. Let me show you what that looks like. I can open it. Okay, I closed that out so I can show you what this looks like. When you go File, Open, and you open a ping, click Embed if you get that option, you'll notice there aren't any layers. And the reason why is because this is just an image. This is like I took a camera and I took a shot of what it looks like. It's just a picture of it. It's not an actual file with any Inkscape information in it. All right, so I'm just going to delete that. File, Open, this one right here has all my information. Ah, look, it's got all the layers. So every time you submit your ping file, that just shows me what it looks like. And when you submit your .svg file, I can go in and I can actually grab stuff and move it around and see how you constructed your art. I hit Control Z to send that back. But that is the reason why you have to always submit your .svg file. And that's also another really good reason why if you go back to work in it again, go Save As, and you change the name just a little bit. I'm going to call this one Textbook Cover 2 to indicate that it's the second time I'm coming in to make some edits to it. That way, I don't screw up, accidentally save over all my work from my first day, because that has happened to students. It's happened to like the best students that we have. And it's really hard for me to have to say, I'm sorry, I can't give you any credit on this assignment because you didn't show your work. So take heed, show your work. All right, thanks so much. You're going to have fun on this project. I know you will.